So let's go back to racing action here in Hungaroring for the last broadcasted race of the day, and that is, of course, as already mentioned, the Suzuki Swift Cup race. Like last season, we are watching two different categories: the newer model Suzuki 1.4 Turbo, and the older one, the 1.6 naturally aspirated. But unlike last year, the amount of cars of the higher category is now significantly higher, whereas we've only got 4 drivers in the lower 1.6 class. And it is Max Wimmer on pole position from Austria. Alongside him, one of 4 local guys who are there, right one behind another. Attila Bucci in second on the second row of the grid. That is Gergő Rácz and Gábor Tim. In fifth, Adam Lengyel. Behind them in sixth, Kamil Serafin from Poland. And then a couple of Austrians, Dominik Haselsteiner and Philipp Dietrich, sharing the row 4 of the grid. In P9, it is Maciej Banaš. In 10th, Alex Sovka, both from Poland. Then we've got Fabian Orfandl, Zoltán Csuti, Günther Wiesmeier, Martin Zellhofer, Balázs Hartmann, Lajos Somsed, Daniel Lemmerhofer, Christoph Zellhofer, Christian Füge, and Michael Mayer. That's all the way down to P20. And then the last 4 spots on the grid, that is the 1.6 class, represented by Mark Somodj, Jakub Shablewski, Gábor Foraj, and Julia Scheier, who has just also competed in the Renault Clio Cup race with her Suzuki, however. So she's just driven from one race directly into another one. Drivers are completing the formation lap on this 4.3 kilometer racetrack. And we are about to go green again. The remainder of Friday's program is delayed, of course, due to that crash on the opening lap of the Renault Clio Cup race. In the first corner, that took some cleaning, and the race was stopped by the red flag for quite a long period. But anyway, we are getting back onto the start and finish straight. Max Wimmer on pole from Attila Bucci, Gerger Ratz, Gábor Tim, Adam Lenděl, Kamil Serafin, Dominik Haselsteiner, Filip Dietrich, Maciej Banáš and Alex Sovka, all completing the top 10 of the grid. And we are racing in Hungary. Great getaway from Max Wimmer. Attila Bucci was very slow off the line, so he's dropping down the field like a stone into the pond. And it is immediately Gerger Ratz up into second. So Max Wimmer leading it into the first corner in his orange and white car. Gábor Tim staying fourth with two other drivers in front of him. Yeah, we've still got quite a lot of mess in the first corner after that crash in the Renault Clio Cup race. Gábor Tim trying to get down the inside of Gerger Ratz. There was a contact. Oh, and another crash. But all of them still continuing. So Gerger Ratz receiving pretty hard hits from his opponents. He was pushed away by Gábor Tim, and now he is in the fierce battle with another driver, that is car number 510, Kamil Serafin from Poland. And it's a huge fight there. Dominik Haselsteiner getting into the mix as well, just like Attila Bucci, who really made a very poor getaway. And then Filip Dietrich joining the queue there. Wonderful close fighting all through the first lap of the race, but Max Wimmer still leading with no trouble. He did manage to get away from everybody else, and that seems to be the best tactic as ever. He's trying to pull a bit of a gap there, but his competition is definitely not going to sleep there. Attila Bucci making a lunge down the inside, and another big fight. Ooh, and a bit of pushing there. Ooh, ho, ho. Kamil Serafin didn't really want to allow Gerger Ratz to get back on track, so Gerger Ratz did need to push him a bit. Another big fight between them, another wheel rubbing, and both of them are off the track now. That seemed to be already overly aggressive for a couple of corners, unnecessarily hard, and both of them now lost places because of that. The Mira guys from the TCR watching as well. They also have a couple of drivers here in this Suzuki Swift race, so this is also of their interest. And there's another crash between the two. They are really hating each other in this race today. Amazing what they do to each other. Gerger Ratz seems to be coming out of that as a big loser there. And maybe he is about to retire from this race after the first lap. So that was quite something. And also Kamil Serafin out of the race. So they did have a couple of pretty big hits between each other, and I think there is going to be quite some explaining between them two. maybe you would want to keep them away from each other for a couple of hours now, because they really got into each other very, very aggressively indeed. So anyway, Max Wimmer leading the race from Adam Lengyel and Gábor Tim. Dominik Haselsteiner there in fourth. From Attila Bucci and Philipp Dietrich. There is Gábor Tim in that yellow car. Ooh, that's still very close. 5-4-6, that is Adam Lengyel, so this is the fight for second in this race. And Max Wimmer managing to pull a bit of a gap in front. Gábor Tim trying to find his way past. They are both entering the start and finish straight. With such small and slow cars, there's not a whole load of slipstream that you can get down the straights. But anyway, Gábor Tim preparing himself for an attack. Is he going to do it? No, he isn't. He's still keeping it calm now. He knows that the race is relatively long still, and there will be chances if he stays patient. Any opportunistic knee-jerk move might only result in more drama, more problems, and loss of positions. Kamil Serafin and Gergerat could definitely tell after today's race. Both cars driving it nicely sideways through the four. Really putting a lot of aggressive steering input into the corners, but it is a front-wheel drive car, so you can do that and still pull yourself out of that. So a bit of a go-kart oversteering driving style that is needed in the Swift Cup. Well, actually, if you think about it, it's actually a go-kart with a bodywork on it. So a lot of similarities going on there. And also you can see that on the driving style, which is so beautiful, so pure, so nice. That's why small car cup racing is always so thrilling to watch. We are about to complete another lap with Max Wimmer extending his lead to 1.7 seconds. Meanwhile, Attila Bucci has set the fastest lap of the race, 2:09.744 on that previous lap, but we've only done 2, so the times are going to drop significantly still, I believe. Max Wimmer completing another lap. Attila Bucci in fourth, in front of Dominik Haselsteiner, Philipp Dietrich, Maciej Banaš, and Gábor Tim trying his luck around the outside into the first corner. That is a really long way around there, and of course he's not making it, but he's definitely trying, and that is also necessary to show your opponent that he needs to count with you and show yourself in his rearview mirror. That always helps in that psychological battle. Dominik Haselsteiner forcing Attila Bucci into a small mistake. He was pretty wide there in that corner. Max Wimmer still leading the race beautifully with 1.5 second gap to the nearest competitor, which is currently Adam Lengyel. This is the next group behind Dominik Haselsteiner. Further 3 seconds adrift. That is Philipp Dietrich in 6th, in front of Maciej Banaš, Martin Zellhofer, Zoltán Čuty, and Alex Sovka in 10th. Behind him, Fabian Orfandl and Lajos Somset. Gergerats, meanwhile, in 13th, so it seems that he has managed to stay in the race. The car number 507. And this is Attila Bucci from Dominik Haselsteiner. We are swiftly approaching the halfway mark of the race. So the field has split into smaller groups. Max Wimmer still driving on his own in the lead of the race. Then there is a battling duo of Adam Lendl and Gábor Tim in the fight for second. Behind them, Attila Bucci and Dominik Haselsteiner fighting it out for fourth. And then a larger group from 6th placed Philipp Dietrich all the way down to 10th, I believe, held by Alexis Sofka currently. Gábor Tim still putting a lot of pressure on his countryman Adam Lendl for the home glory. But it is still being taken away from both of them by the Austrian Max Wimmer. Bit of a wide entry there. Gábor Tim immediately having a look down the inside, trying to see if he can find the way past, and he is now, well, physically pushing Adam Lendl for second. Rejoining the start and finish straight, still at great pace. Is this race unfolding? Wonderful stuff, wonderful action there. Gábor Tim, will he have another go into the first corner? No, staying behind Adam Lendl. And it seems that Attila Bucci is managing to escape from the clutches of Dominik Haselsteiner, and he is about to join the all-Hungarian fight for podium. Incredibly sideways is Gábor Tim going and driving. And you also need to be. You need to introduce some sort of scrub onto the tires, well, to rub them against the tarmac to really keep heat in them, because it's still incredibly cold here in Hungary. Temperatures keeping around 8 degrees. That's not a lot. Gábor Tim stepping on the brakes so hard, he's even making the hazard lights flash from time to time. What is so common on the small hatchbacks of today. And again, the hazards flashing with the ferocity with which Gábor Tim is braking in his Suzuki Swift. And now it is all Hungarian fight for second, third and fourth for the last 12 minutes of the race, so basically for the second half of the race. So Attila Bucci definitely joining the queue there, having pulled a gap on Dominik Haselsteiner. Attila Bucci, I was gonna say that he is staying out of it for the first moments of the fight, but no. As soon as he saw the door open, he positioned his car into it and he tried it down the inside on Gábor. There was maybe a bit of a contact there, but both of them got away with it. And even though we are fighting really aggressively here, Max Wimmer is not really driving away from them. If anything, they are maybe even getting closer. 1.8 currently between Max Wimmer and Adam Lengyel. Adam Lengyel still having to be fairly defensive, checking his rearview mirrors here and there, pretty much in every braking zone. Gábor showing himself in the mirrors every so often. And even though the cars are not very fast, they are really trying to make their line as straight as possible, using huge chunks of curbs in each corner just to make it as straight as possible. Because with these cars, very often it seems that the shortest way is also the fastest. You just need to not lose any piece of speed, any bit of speed that you can. You've just got to keep that car moving as briskly as possible. And all of this sliding, it is putting back some heat into the tires, which is nice, but it's also scrubbing speed that is not so easy to regain. It's a bit easier with this generation of Swifts because they are turbocharged, although they are 0.2 liters down on the engine volume. Another go from Attila Bucci. He has had to use all of that inside curb again because Gábor did not leave him any more space than that. Wonderful fight, bumper on bumper, literally. Attila Bucci giving a little nudge to his countryman Gábor, but still no change. And even despite this fight, they all have managed to shave another half a second off the gap of Max Wimmer. So maybe, just maybe, we are about to see a beautiful fight, not only for second, but also for the victory in this race. And this is about huge pride for this trio, all of them racing on home soil, and with an Austrian rival in sights. Another one behind them in the person of Dominik Hasselsteiner, but if anything, he now seems to be a bit out of this fight. But if anything happens, rest assured that before you know it, he can be back in it. 8 minutes left to go. Another sideways action there at the end of the middle sector, and we are about to climb back up to the top. 5.88.532, that is the lower Swift category, the 1.6 naturally aspirated, and that is Mark Somogy and Gábor Foray, another home battle for 20th overall, but for the class victory. The fastest lap of the race still in hands of Attila Bucci in fourth. And maybe there will be a fight into the first corner. Gábor looked to be really close to Adam Lengyel in second. In the end, nothing happened, but still they are bumper on bumper. And there is just no room for any big error. They are really not letting each other rest for a second. gap of Max Wimmer still shrinking, albeit not that much, or not by that much. Across that last lap, only half a tenth taken off his gap. So 1¼ of a second. That is his current lead. Adam Lendl, Gábor Tim, Attila Bucci, still so close to each other. Oh, that was very close. And this is just beautiful because Attila Bucci is always sending his car down the inside of Gábor Tim. There's always maybe a bit of contact, and somehow they managed to get out of the other end of the corner, still all in one piece. And what's even more amazing is that Adam Lendl is holding off that pressure from both of them, and has been doing so pretty much all the way through the race. So 5.5 more minutes for him to keep doing that, and if he does, then he will be best of the home drivers here in Hungary. But this way he's not going to steal that pride from Max Wimmer. Gábor Tim having another look down the inside, but Adam Lendl cutting him off. Attila Bucci trying to find his way past. Inside, outside, he's trying everything that he can. Every trick in the book that he knows, but nothing works so far. Amazing scrap there for second, third and fourth. And still amazingly, even despite this huge fighting, Max Wimmer is not escaping. And they are constantly reeling him in. Oh, that's a massive crash in the first corner. Ooh, that's a big hit. That's the car number 511, and that might be a race stopper. That is Christian Fugger. This might be a race stopper because that was a giant hit, and just hopefully is the local guy Christian Fugger okay, because that was a huge one. Safety car is out, and that is pretty much putting all the fighting to an end, I believe. Ambulance immediately starting, and I am not surprised. It might be all okay, but definitely the medical crew cannot wait any longer. They have to get to the scene to assess the gravity of the situation. That was a giant hit there. We even heard it from the ambient micros. We were watching a fight completely on the other end of the track, and we still heard the hit. That's how hard it was for Christian Fugger, and he just flattened all of the left side of his car against the barrier. You could see how he moved all that tire barrier away from him and away from its original position, and that was on the driver's side. So yeah. Hopefully all is okay, but that was a big one. Of course, not sure what happened there. Not sure if he hit the grass while braking or the brakes failed completely. That would be actually quite surprising to me, because it is so cold, and it is the hardest braking spot on the track, but still, I don't think that you could cook the brakes around here with the Swift. But maybe I'm mistaken. Let's not create any further theories, and let's just hope that Christian Fugger is going to be fine. So are we going to see that scene of the hit? Rather not, maybe. I'm not sure. Cameraman trying to take pictures of something else now. That's never a great sign, but yeah, it's precaution. We don't want to be showing anything nasty, so let's just hope that Christian Fugger is all right, and let's wait for any piece of information that we can get. Less than 2 minutes left on the clock, so this is it for the race. I am pretty sure of that, and that will render Max Wimmer victorious for the opening race of the 2021 season. Anticlimactic in the end, which is definitely a great deal of shame, because it was such a beautiful fight for second, and the trio was definitely reeling in the race leader, so we were in for some beautiful fighting for victory in this race. That's not going to happen, and suddenly all the attention is with Christian Fugger. Okay, let's enjoy some of those vicious fights between Kamil Serafin and Gergeratz. Kamil Serafin really didn't want to allow Gergeratz back on track. Now he pushed him out of the track. There was first contact. Kamil Serafin was really incredibly aggressive there, and he then it even looked like he deliberately tried to take Gergeratz out of this race. In the end, he only managed to end his own race, and I believe that the stewards are going to have a word with both of them probably, but that was, in my mind, way beyond the limit. But this was beautiful. This was amazing race between the trio of local guys. They were really having it out on the track, and we were watching it with close interest. Every corner was so entertaining, so exciting. Sadly, in the end, anticlimactic because of this giant hit for Christian Fugger. There is the car being taken away.